It's your boy, Captain Colds.
What, your boy Cash here, featuring...
Is he the third man? He's the third man!
The wild card.
And this is Talking Like Champions. And this is Talking Like Champions. And today we won't be joined by the BCWC, but we do have a very, very special guest in the house.
He's still a third man.
And he may be the third member going forward for a little while as the BCWC is on a hiatus.
So, without further ado, we'd like to introduce to you Mr. Eddie L.
Thank you. That was great rolling of the tongue, okay? Pause.
Better than I could do.
Hey, I tried really hard.
Thank you. It was great to be on here. You know, I'm also a fan of the podcast already, so this is just a stepping stone for me. I love this. Thank you.
Of course, and we'll have more to come, as we have Eddie El Guapo, King Cash, and myself.
King Cash, like how you
Captain Colds.
Yep, Captain Cash.
Got to talk about your gimmick a little bit. It's a little bit of a different episode, new chapter here in TLC, and
yeah, they know enough about Captain Cash and who our favorite superstars are, and how we are in the ring, outside the ring, here on the podcast, and what we stand for. Eddie El Guapo,
this is your icebreaker.
Tell us a little bit about you and give us your favorite superstar growing up and your favorite superstar now.
Well, I am Eddie El Guapo, a.k.a. a.k.a. TJ Goodwin.
Shout out to Rosewood Culture.
Shout out Rosewood Culture. Shout out TV Boxing. I have many characters, many paths, but at heart, I'm just a man of the people. At heart, I'm a person who wants to go out there, put on a big show. I'm an Aries, so of course I like to be in the center of attention. So I like doing anything active, and wrestling has always been a passion of mine ever since I saw my favorite superstar, Eddie Guerrero.
Viva la raza.
That was a little leeway right there. I've been practicing, guys. I saw Eddie Guerrero on an episode. I think it was Smackdown. Can't remember there. I was still a kid. But I saw him.
Did he have the mullet?
I saw him. No, I saw him throw the chair in, smack it on the ground, throw it back, and just drop down. And then he waited for the ref. The ref didn't get up. And I was like, what is going on? And then I got kicked out the room. And I didn't know what that show was called.
You got blue-balled.
I didn't know what the show was called. I didn't know anything about wrestling at the time. And then the next time I saw wrestling was Undertaker versus Randy Orton and their gimmicks. And I saw Randy Orton looking at himself in a casket. And I thought, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, what a moment. Wow, take us back to that moment. Now that you've said it, that was crazy.
05.
Yeah, 05, you're right, 05, yes. Jesus, what a moment right there, because Orton really grew after that moment with that rivalry with The Undertaker.
Nope, barely any tats.
Barely any tats, and I do remember that moment, that great cinematic CGI type moment they did there with Orton looking back at himself in the casket. It was crazy. I remember at one point The Undertaker, I think, had he returned in the flaming casket
at Survivor
Series. They stood it up.
Orton was the sole survivor,
and they had him up on his shoulders. Everybody was in the ring.
Randy Orton did it. The Young
Taker
Gun
came in clean, Haas, after he broke out of the flaming casket. Yeah, that was a hell of a moment. What a moment to bring back to us. So, who's your favorite superstar on the roster right now, Guapo? We hear Eddie El Guapo, of course. I love that Eddie Guerrero shout out. Fans here who listen to us know I love Eddie Guerrero, and I love Eddie El Guapo as well.
If I have to say, I remember you guys' episode. You guys said your favorite current superstar, but you also said up and coming superstar.
Yeah, give us both.
So I do want to say my favorite current superstar has to be the Legend Killer himself.
Of course.
Like Randy Orton. Drew's very close with me there.
Okay.
Very, very close, but Randy just solidified. And up and comer is very hard because there's old guys in there who are still now getting seasoned in there.
Yeah. For WWE up and comers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like an example, LA Knight, like you said. So But up and comers, I have to say that boy Montez Ford. I just believe in him so much.
He brings a swag like nobody can.
I believe him or Carmelo Hayes can be the future of WWE.
Melo don't miss, baby. You already know. That's who I said. Montez Ford. Obviously, the WWE does see big potential in him. Bianca Belair's husband and everything like that. And not only that, but if you actually have completed the WWE 2K 24 storyline and finished your story,
spoiler alert,
Montez Ford actually had an opportunity after winning the Royal Rumble at a main event match at WrestleMania to fight you for your WWE Undisputed Championship. So they do believe in Montez Ford.
Yeah, they wouldn't put that in a video game if they didn't have some belief.
Street Profits are just so good. It's the same thing, which brings me... We'll actually come back to this coming up when we're talking about our Raw review. Because right now we're just going to go ahead and jump into the Smackdown review because I can talk about what I was going to talk about, but I don't want to get sidetracked.
Absolutely. And after Guapo, what he said was Carmelo Hayes. Yes. Let's just dive in. Smackdown.
Speaking of Carmelo Hayes.
This is turning into like a best of 7 series. I feel like. What is this? The third or fourth meetup?
I think
that was the third
meetup.
2-1 Andrade.
Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, yes.
And I love this because bringing back best of 7 just makes me think of MVP and Matt Hardy.
And it makes sense because what MVP used to come out balling. What's Melo's thing? Melo don't miss.
Yep.
So that makes me feel, Melo's a basketball player. So what's that mean? Game 7.
Yep. That's a very good take on that. And Carmelo Hayes did get the dub here after Andrade's had his number, twice already? If I'm not mistaken, it's Carmelo's first win against him.
And if I'm not mistaken, the last best of 7 series actually turned into The Bar.
Yes, between Sheamus and Cesaro. You're right.
Cesaro.
Because you know the one I was going to say before, that was going to be back in
I can't remember.
05, and it was going to be John Cena and Booker T. I don't think it was a 7, though. I think they did a best of 5, and that was for the U.S. title towards the end as well. Yup. But, no, yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro was the last time this happened, and yeah, they did turn into a team. Obviously, I don't see Andrade and Carmelo turning into a team here, but the crazy thing is that they
No way, but these men are just putting on classics.
That's what I was going to say. Like, they've had 3 matches, and
great chemistry there.
You would think this is like a rivalry 3 matches that's over, but then they let them beat the hell out of each other and got security involved, and everyone had to stop them, and that makes it feel fresh already.
And this is a great thing with the Paul Levesque era. You can just throw guys in there. Just throw each other in there. They will make a rivalry. They will make a storyline right now, and that is what these men are doing. They were just thrown in there, and look at this gold.
Yeah, all off of the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I also did say in that preview episode that Carmelo was going to be the one to hit the spot, and more than likely Andrade was going to be the one to take it, set up a rivalry, and here we are. Blair Davenport, actually another name that just inserted herself out of nowhere. Like you said, just throw these people in here, and they're going to get the job done and make a good feud. Defeated Naomi on Smackdown.
I will say that they didn't have much chemistry. That was my one downfall of this match.
Naomi's a vet, so...
Naomi's a vet.
So is Blair, really.
Blair is a vet, but she's not a WWE vet. She's a quote-unquote NXT vet.
It's getting used to the TV, I think.
Yeah, it's a bigger crowd, too. I mean, not that she... now, I don't want to say that now.
Your wrestling style changes a little bit because you're like, I gotta be more storytelling based.
I don't want to say that.
But Naomi has the same moveset, so you need to get used to that with a vet.
I don't want to say the wrong thing about the crowd part, though, because Blair Davenport, I'm sure, actually has fought in these crowds. I mean, she was indie, and I'm pretty sure she did a Wrestle Kingdom or something of the sort. She's been in a big crowd feeling, but it's a WWE crowd feeling. It's a big WWE crowd. That's a different type of atmosphere.
15,000 is bigger than 6,000 at the high school gym. I mean,
but with that being said, I like Blair Davenport. I'm a huge fan of her. I actually like her. Liked her in NXT. But hey, Naomi.
So they did good for her. Naomi putting her over, and Naomi did leave the company due to creative issues, but that was with Vince. And now with, like you said, Paul Levesque era. I feel like Naomi's is comfortable now after going to TNA, winning the championship. Now they're doing this whole crossover with TNA. Hell, we might get Naomi back on TNA at some point in time. We don't know, but obviously she's back in the WWE because of her husband Jimmy Uso, and it's gonna pay the best, and she's set for life. She's a WWE lifer.
And I think Blair winning also still is implementing that 6-man women's tag that's coming up.
Exactly, with Bianca, Jade, Naomi taking on Al, which probably is gonna happen at Bash at Berlin. Because as we'll talk about on the Monday Night Raw review, actually, we had the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line.
Yep, so we'll get to that here in a little bit. Moving on to SmackDown, Kevin Owens makes an appearance and defeats Grayson Waller. Yes.
Did he make an appearance?
But what was the biggest thing about the appearance that we took away of Kevin Owens? He was in black and red, not from his normal black and blue like he's been wearing. And to you wrestling marks and fans and ones who pay attention, you eagle eye fans, that normally means a sign of character change, especially especially for Kevin Owens, because he's done this before.
He used the pop-up powerbomb.
He used the pop-up powerbomb as well.
Right on the side of the
So Cody
ring.
Rhodes is eating a pop-up powerbomb on the apron at the end of Bash at Berlin.
That would be
when
wild.
Cody steals it with a roll-up. We'll talk about that on the Bash at Berlin preview.
Is that the prediction?
That's a
now.
very early prediction. for
Early
now.
prediction.
So I'd like to say that the Kevin Owens-Grayson Waller match was good. Kevin Owens obviously showed some edgier tendencies. It wasn't until after the match there, yes, when Cody Rhodes came out to stop the beatdown with Austin Theory. They had this beautiful camera angle, which I'm going to go on about that in just a second. They had Kevin Owens in the back where he was holding a steel chair, clearly looking over the shoulder of Cody or at Cody, and then he drops the chair, gives him the dap, picks up the title, gives him the dap up, and kind of walks out of there. Leaves Cody kind of almost thoughtless, emotionless. Yeah, he was kind of like, I don't know how to feel after that.
A little flabbergasted.
Yes. So I will play back now to the camera angles. Shout out WWE. Because, man, lately, within the last, noticeably, 2 to 3 weeks between Raw and SmackDown, their camera angles
So honestly,
have been...
since Kevin Dunn stepped down.
I know. It's really just, I feel like I've noticed in the last few weeks.
They
with
got
these
new
rivalries.
guys in there with the new age, and they said, let's try something different, and now every company's doing the one shot.
It ain't even just a one shot, though. It's just the camera angles that they do in these moments. Like, it's Kevin Owens' chair behind Cody. Like, what a shot. These shots, with...
Shoot since me with Logan Paul.
Yeah, these
Logan
were
Paul with
moments.
that prime ball.
That was Logan's doing, though, and that's the
his
new
idea,
age.
and that's the new age, yeah. And
So,
the Paul Levesque era.
The
knows
social
that.
media, yeah, and he's going to want to capitalize on anything. If you got an idea and he says, you know what, you're with this now and the knowledge, then go ahead. We're going to run it and see if it works.
Brain blast real quick. Guys, here we are edgier product. You guys know that. I just had one of those moments. Did you guys realize that the Paul Levesque era has the same letters as a PLE? Great minds think alike.
No more
Back to SmackDown, the Street Profits and DIY, and the number one contenders match with WWE Tag Team titles. What more is there to say about putting these 4 men in a match together? Kat, give us, how was this match?
Absolute banger. This was definitely PLE worthy, and to get it on free
Paul
television.
Levesque era worthy.
Everyone wants to shit on the tag team division, and we have been fond believers of also shitting on the tag team division with what they like to do with tag teams.
I guess I'll take it from here. They like to take them and break them up.
Exactly, and we've teased that, more than enough times on different occasions throughout the last 3 to 4 months on all 3 brands of WWE product.
And DIY are legends at breaking up and getting back together.
But this match, let me tell you, there was it was a lot of high octane offense. Everybody flying around the ring. Montez Ford, absolute star, just like Guapo said here earlier on the show. Really, the right team won. DIY does not need that rematch yet because if you remember, the Street Profits still have unfinished business with the Bloodline.
Yeah. I mean, the banger that they put on with the Usos.
And yeah,
Well,
they
we
did
thought
the
that they were
6-man
supposed to do
tag
it.
with Kevin Owens, I think it was, on TV or whatever,
They
but
did.
that wasn't the end of the feud for me.
No, they just kind of always hung around. It's kind of what the Street Profits have done with the Bloodline. They just kind of hung around. So their time's coming.
They haven't really known what to do with them.
And I don't know if you've realized too, lately in the weeks they've been pointing out more that Angelo Dawkins is doing more. So that might be seeds being planted of a breakup. I really hope there's not one already without them winning more gold
They
together.
need to be more like New Day and just support each other. Go win the gold, Montez.
Yeah, but also I need them to win gold. Yeah, I need them to win individual gold. They can
And they
still
haven't
be
won tag
they can-
titles in so long either, though.
That's what I'm saying. So, but I can see the implements of them breaking up and a few coming around next year. So I feel like they're planting those little seeds.
Hell, the Street Profits probably haven't won the tag team championships in 4 years
Oh, it's been quite some time.
because the Usos had that long ass reign, and
Yeah.
the Street Profits didn't have it because the RK Bro had it for a while. Street Profits, we want the smoke.
Yeah, shout out Bad News Barrett. Wade Barrett commentary, because just as alluding to what Guapo was saying, Angelo Dawkins, man, he was kicking out of everything. He was getting energy out of everything, and Wade Barrett was absolutely losing his freaking mind on the announce table. So great call on that. Yeah, I do love me some Angelo Dawkins. It's not always Montez Ford. We want smoke. And then Roman Reigns comes out
The OTC.
to confront the new tribal chief,
But
Solo
who is-
Sikoa.
Who is in the ring with Solo?
No,
Hey, who it was?
it was Tamatanga.
Oh, so just one Solo and one man with him. Easy for Roman. Easy for Roman.
And then he comes down and he does what? He doesn't acknowledge Solo Sikoa. He doesn't acknowledge Tama Tonga. He acknowledges a Superman punch right to the mouth.
Right to the mouth, eats it. They have a great segment, big old beat down and everything, and Roman looks great here. The big moment, almost like Thanos putting in the final stone in the gauntlet. Roman picks up the Uafala.
Absolute cinema.
And puts it around the neck, to which he looks up to the grace of the God. R.I.P. to his dad and uncle. And he's feeling that energy, and he puts it on. And the pop by the crowd. It was seriously a cinematic moment.
And if you go back and honestly put the side by side with the Thanos, you can tell that.
Oh, it's insane.
He was the character work was.
That was that right there. He got that energy.
This is why Roman
is top.
GOAT.
That's it. And then what happened?
All to be crushed.
Big walking boot to the mouth.
What?
Super kick from Fatu.
Big Jacob Fatu.
And remember, WWE has done a really good job of keeping these two off because Fatu had the whole leg injury cell because they didn't want him to get involved and get physical with Roman because they didn't want to take away from the aura.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, us as fans and all the marks know that Fatu has the aura of manga.
And manga was a machine, and Jacob Fatu was following in his footsteps. Guapo, do you like Jacob Fatu, and does this segment get a up or a down?
I definitely like Jacob Fatu. I was and still kind of am a doubter on how they put him in so quickly without, any groundwork. But I love this segment because especially it's still like you said, they didn't touch each other first, and now he snuck Roman. There wasn't a clear just beat down of him off like solos.
Yeah.
They just had to sneak him, and then they got the upper hand. I like how it's keeping that distance between them two and possibly him having to fight a final boss since he thinks he's the one. I love this storyline that they're not having any titles right now. Well, not the tag team titles, but the main story does not need titles right now. It's still working. The Bloodline storyline has been going on for 4+ years now, and it's just amazing now to me.
It's compelling. They still find a way to make it fresh and feel good each week, and we are still out here fantasy booking day to day. Honestly, we're out here guessing which Samoan's going to come
like
next.
You said with the aura Solo, he's found his aura.
Sora, yeah, he definitely has. Solo's definitely found his aura. Great work here. Great segment. Great ending.
Great Smackdown.
Triple powerbomb, right to close it by the way.
Live from Orlando.
One of the best triple powerbombs I've seen.
Love that they keep putting Roman through a triple powerbomb. I love that.
Oh, and not to forget, since we were in Orlando, the NXT champion, All Ego himself, was in the building.
Ethan Page. And
scouting some talent.
I do believe there was a NXT Women's Champion Roxanne sighting as well. They were both there that night, so shout out them getting onto the main screen. And
they want people to know who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be coming up soon. So as we dive off of SmackDown and talking about these NXT superstars, let's dive right in to the NXT review, baby.
Well, before we get to that, we actually have Monday Night Raw to discuss. Because Raw comes before SmackDown.
I guess.
Kicked off. We had a nice banger. Who was it? Who's in a banger?
It's Fight Night!
Sheamus himself taking on Pete, not my Butch Dunn.
Oh, yeah. Butch or bitch?
And this was a banger.
This was an absolute banger, and what a creative
What was
finish.
that moment that you told me about with Sheamus' hand? Because Sheamus had been selling this hand injury all night from last week after getting Belfast brawled into the hand by the Shillelagh.
Dude, so Wampo and I were watching.
The former Butch put Sheamus' injured hand inside of the turnbuckle.
You heard that right.
Inside of the turnbuckle, walked away, and booted the complete hell of this hand.
Yeah, he blasted the hand wide open.
And instead of crumbling, it empowered him like the person I hate the most, Hulk Hogan, and he ripped the turnbuckle off, ran ahead to a bro kick right in the face for Pete Dunne, and it's just more creative ways of wrestling, just things you haven't seen like this, and I love it. They found a way to put on bangers and still be more creative each time.
And then we cut backstage to see the New Day. And what happened with the New Day?
Big O, baby. You already know.
Big Odyssey Jones was back there with Kofi and Xavier. And Kofi was asking Woods if everything was okay because Woods' aura has just been off lately.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, and Kofi actually spotted it and finally said something. I actually was sitting here watching, wondering if they were going to capitalize and have him ask him if there was something going on, if they were just kind of going to blow past that. I feel like that's a Vince thing, too. These things that we see, we're going, well, why are they not doing that? It's blatantly obvious. That's what Triple H does now, so that's good. It was definitely blatantly obvious that something was wrong in the room, and Kofi had to notice, obviously. We're humans. So for them to just point it out and do the segment as they did was great.
That's a big thing.
Honest.
That's a big thing they've been doing now lately with... back in the day, Vince would be like, oh, you guys are all just idiots. And, like, don't get me wrong, Vince... a legend. That's why I love wrestling, because I watched Vince McMahon. I watched the era.
Yes.
Stone Cold. All that shit was phenomenal.
Yep.
But Vince, again, as he got older, he didn't want to evolve with the product necessarily, and would think, hey, the audience is forgetful, or they don't remember this, or whatever.
We do.
But we're watching it like a TV show. We're watching it like a soap opera. We're invested into these characters.
I've said that for years.
So I remember
soap opera.
I remember that
live action.
Big E was partners with Kofi and Xavier and got hurt, and now I know all this, and I know that Odyssey Jones is very reminiscent of Big E. He's a bigger guy. He's the big muscle of the group, and then
we can clearly
Kofi
see
made that great
feeling wrong about
and
this.
Kofi made the great point of, you remember when they were down on us and we needed a chance, we were given a chance, and I like that they're coming back. That's full, like Vince, that would never happen.
Never.
They would never. Oh, let me refer back to this about when we got our opportunity and stuff. So it made sense, and that is what swayed Xavier to be like, you know what, you're right, but he still feels some type of way.
Vince wouldn't even mention Big E.
No.
He wouldn't even mention him.
No, he's a lost cause at this point. And they go out there, and we go to commercial, actually, and then we come back, and then Braun Breaker's on our screen. But not in the ring. They give us a nice hype reel, which is cool. You don't need to have them fight every week or doing something every week. You got to keep it fresh. So they give us a nice hype reel.
And I do like that they've been doing this on a weekly, like, even if it's if a superstar is about to be coming up in a match, maybe not this next match, but the following match after, they'll play like a little package of them or something. It's just a good way to show the production team, and then it's a good way to get more face time.
Production's been top
and
notch.
Brand exposure for your player, for your athlete.
Your main event player at that. Right now, I mean, Braun Breaker's on his way, so.
And not to mention, we did start Raw very hot, because we forgot to mention with Randy Orton and Gunther having a nice little promo, and
we forgot about
and Orton got jumped by Ludwig, and that's gonna set up our main event. So
we also got CM Punk.
Sorry, I skipped over that moment. We also had Ivy Nile taking on Maxine Dupree, and if you remember, was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago? Because now I cannot remember.
What was that?
When Ivy turned heel. Was it 2 weeks ago?
I think it was last week, because 2 weeks ago American Made debuted, and then it was...
Yeah, 2 weeks ago they debuted.
Yeah, and then last week joined.
She said, you don't want to be ringside.
Yes, now we have a match.
Chad told me to persuade you.
And then if you guys don't know, on their social media, Maxine had posted about their travels together, how they grew close together over these years, how she's seen her as a best friend. So this match didn't even get to start yet, and Maxine was on the offense, attacking her, and actually showing off her prowess, flexing a little bit there with her muscles.
Yeah, she looked good.
She threw her over the table. It was great.
Fisherman
work.
Buster suplex on the outside.
Ivy finally gets a little reversal while they get in the ring, and what happens?
Well, she hit her with a nice roundhouse kick. We're looking good, and then all of a sudden, the lights go out, and
and then the fireflies, they have to come out.
And the music, it just starts doing a ding, 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 and the smoke is in the ring, and you already know. In this moment, I figured it out, because the females are wrestling. I said, this has to be Nikki, and sure as shit, there she is. Nikki pops up, comes through the smoke in the ring, and Ivy gets protected by Creed Brothers and Gable. They come in the ring and stand in front, try to protect her, and then that's when all of them show up.
Out of nowhere.
The other three from the six-man tag, and then they're at it again. They're all brawling now. Nikki has taken Ivy out of the ring, and then Gable's left surrounded by everybody at the end, and that just led you to one thing only.
Sister Abigail.
Howdy, and a Sister Abigail. Beautiful, and damn it, Gable every week spikes his damn head in the freaking mat like a straight board, bro.
every time.
And it's beautiful. And they pose and they go out of the segment. And it's beautiful, and I love everything about the Wyatt Six. There's nothing more on it. That's it.
And what's going to happen next week?
One-on-one finally. So here's something to talk about.
Uncle Howdy finally going to make his debut.
Yes, one-on-one with Gable next week. Now, here's something I will say. Have we noticed? They've done none of this Wyatt Six, Gable, Creed, American Made stuff on a PLE. Clearly, they could have did the six-man tag at a PLE. Clearly, they could do Gable and Howdy at Bash at Berlin. They're choosing to keep this going on Raw each week, and that is drawing you in to want to watch Raw and pay attention to everything that's going on. And that is a huge up for me. Paul Levesque era doing it right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure the factuality of this, but if I had to guess, it was only right that they made their debut in the ring in Baltimore. Which PLE did Bray Wyatt make his debut in the ring?
SummerSlam, right? It's Fiend or...
That was as The Fiend, but when did Bray Wyatt's first PLE was? I want to say it was like Extreme Rules.
I'm going to have to fact check and look at it. It's either that or it could be, man. I'm really going to have to look and see because that is going to bother me. Cap's actually going to fact check right now while we keep on talking about this here. Yeah, great segment all the way around. Guapo, Wyatt Six, after watching him for a few weeks here, and you haven't been on our podcast, so we don't really know all your thoughts about them. Total package, I think. Doing well in the ring, I think. No masks and showing who they are, so we know who these people are, which we already knew. But it's good to just blatantly tell you. Love it. Give me your thoughts here. How do you feel about the Wyatt Six?
I love, the only thing I would have to say about all this, because I love the character work. I love how they're keeping a whole story going on in honor of a person and still staying true to the details. The only thing I would say is I feel they kind of burned it, like they're slow burning, but they pushed it so hard with the little clues that are going on each week for months and months. And then they finally arrived. That fucking appearance was amazing, and I feel like they're kind of burning it and simmering it down a little bit. But there is so much going on in WWE right now. It's like, how can you contain this right now? But I love they're not immediately giving the title push. I love the slow burning and the storytelling, because Ivy got attacked now after she betrayed Maxine. It's all, everything is making sense such to a detail that Bray Wyatt himself would keep it to. So I love how they're doing this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And kind of what you were saying right there, there's so much going on in WWE. There really is. Everything right now, every match, every segment that you watch is storyline driven right now in WWE. If you're watching Raw, NXT, or SmackDown, I don't think anything is random. They're literally all storyline driven, and that's a beautiful thing to see right now.
There's no more matches to skip.
No, there's nothing to skip. Even, I mean, look, we just talked about Ivy Nile, Maxine Dupree. A match didn't even really happen. It was 4 minutes of wrestling time. Maybe. And Maxine was the best she's ever looked. She came out guns blazing because there was a personal vendetta at this point now. They were best friends, and all this is happening, and then the Wyatt Six stuff goes down and everything. So, it's a lot. We love it. Good stuff. Now we move on to CM Punk show walking backstage. It looks like we see something around his neck, quite possibly, but we're going to move on from that because
SummerSlam.
We don't know. There it is. I was waiting to be cut off at some point.
2013 Ring of Fire versus Kane.
Oh wow, that was Wyatt's PLE debut, huh? I'm sorry, pay-per-view debut back then.
So that was the Fiends as well.
Yeah,
so they could have capitalized at SummerSlam, but they elected to go with the Baltimore thing instead. So now I'm not sure what they're going to do. There was that theory out the window, but hey, it was a good attempt.
Yep, and then we're going to move on here. The Terror Twins cut a promo backstage about how they're going to put Liv Morgan and Tomic through the mat in Berlin. It's a nice little moment.
I'm loving those backstage promos where they got their own little setup or
Judgment
clubhouse.
Day, honestly, just their promo game has been amazing on and off, like funny-wise, seriousness-wise, just storytelling-wise. I love the Judgment Day. I've always loved the Judgment Day.
The mesh of them all is great.
And I don't know, like now it's confusing though, so like, are they just the Terror Twins and now they're the Judgment Day?
Yep.
I don't like that part, but
they're still the new Judgment Day as of right now. That's all I've heard. They haven't changed in the street trash, thank God.
But Damien's been talking about breaking up the Judgment Day or whatever you said earlier on in the promo, beating them down.
But we'll move on to more Judgment Day stuff as that does happen later in the night. But Next up, CM Punk makes his way to the ring, and we noticed something on his neck earlier. He's backstage for a commercial. He comes out on the mic, and we noticed it right away. I called this
strap.
last week. We didn't have a podcast, but I was paying attention to what happened. The segment last week, CM Punk did absolutely whip the shit out of Drew McIntyre's back with the belt. Left awful welts, and I already knew what that was leading to. Lo and behold, Punk comes out this week and it's hanging on his neck. The leather strap. Comes out, cuts the promo, alive and well here in South Florida on a Monday night. He's got the crowd hype and everything's good. Says he's not getting much sleep, the bag's under his eyes. Got some news he wants to share. Then he gives us a little story. You know how Punk does his promos. He's very old school in his ways, but still with the times. He gets in your heart a little bit about his friends. And then he gives you the breaking news, and that is that him and Drew will go one-on-one, bash at Berlin in a strap match. This is match number 2 for these guys here. Guapo, great call or bad call?
Great call. Amazing call. Like I said, there's so many storylines now, you don't even need a title.
No, you don't.
This is one of those, and
they were both hurt when the storyline even kind of got going. They did it without a title and without wrestling.
It's just amazing work. I love seeing this. This is, that was CM Punk's first singles match, right? Last pay-per-view, that was his first singles match back, right?
Yeah, other than the house show. But
and I think, I heard you guys on the podcast, you know what I'm saying, like kind of expecting more. But for his first match back, the storyline, everything that's still implemented with him and Seth Rollins whenever he can make a return back. Yeah. I love all of this. I love it's amazing work. I think CM Punk needs to win this though, and go ahead and have that trilogy match. And then by then, it doesn't matter who wins.
Well, and this whole thing, obviously, in my opinion, is leading to bad blood. We're gonna get the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, that would be match number 3 here for them, and that's what they're alluding to.
Because this whole rivalry is just somewhat hit and miss, throw it at the wall. It's Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
All over again, like we already talked about. And this addition of Bronson Reed taking out Seth Rollins, like Wapo said, there's so many storylines that you don't need a belt. Like, really, who cares? Bronson Reed just beat the piss out of Seth, beat the piss out of Miz, R-Truth, all these former WWE champions. Hall of Famers at that. 3 Hall of Famers. He's the new Mark Henry. You can say that Bronson Reed's character right now is the new Mark Henry.
Smash it.
And now, we did have a Bronson Reed match, which we must just go ahead and talk about it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Where he took on The Miz in a no disqualification match.
Standing up for his friend Truth.
Wanted to make sure that Miz even wanted this match, but Miz is the one that asked him for it. And
Miz
he doesn't want the match.
Miz said, nah, suspend
I don't want
him.
This match.
Suspend the move, he said.
Yeah,
you should suspend him, ban the move.
Exactly, you should ban the move. It sounds like a GM, and if you remember, like I said earlier, in WWE 2K24, Miz is actually a general manager.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it works out. It's funny. But here, Miz is like, I gotta do it for Truth.
Yeah,
so it was
heartwarming moment. Great, loved it.
And it was a good, solid match. Miz on the attack and everything else, but Bronson Reed in the end, absolute dog.
Table.
Oh, that driver through the table. Miz hit so low on that table where the legs were. It fucking hurt when he went through it.
Oh, then he got Tsunami!
Right. God, can we talk about municipal?
And past weeks, he's been doing multiple tsunamis, making people come out from the back to stop it. This time, only needed one person.
How's the warm up a little bit?
Do it. That was one big SOB.
Braun! Strowman.
Strowman comes.
One big son of a bitch.
And that son of a bitch came to save the motherfucking day for the awesome one.
And let me tell
Braun.
You know who was feeling like juice and was rock hard? Big E. Because next week, we're going to have 2 big, beefy boys slapping beef.
That is right. Next week, Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed.
Meat Mania, baby.
Oh, yeah. Meat Mania for sure.
Coming live to you next week. Now we need to get Odyssey Jones and Otis in there.
Meat Mania.
Odyssey Jones.
And speaking of Odyssey Jones, we had a 6-man tag with your boys, the New Day, and Odyssey Jones taking on the Final Testament And this rivalry's been going on, and again, like Guapo said here, these storylines, they haven't needed titles, and yes, I know this story's kind of been a little lackluster. It was kind of pushed to the side a little bit.
Now, the only reason it got pushed so long is because Kofi got hurt, remember?
Yep.
So they did have to kind of stretch it and move away for a few weeks to let him recover.
Which
kind of same with Sheamus and Ludwig.
But that's the thing about Triple H. Vince would have just thrown the whole storyline out, and Kofi would have came back, and they would have been like,
Ludwig. Now
Final Testament, what up? We're boys now.
Okay.
Well, we didn't forget that you took me out, put me on the shelf.
Yeah, this is good work.
So I like them coming back to the story right away, too. At that, you're like, oh, okay, like, we expect it, but then, like, at certain times, like the Ludwig and Sheamus, there was really no need to come back for that.
Yeah.
But they want to push Ludwig to the next.
And they just wanted to finish it, and they did. They finished off the story, and that was good. So, moving on
they got one more.
Yeah.
They had a backstage promo, actually, after the match.
That is very true.
Before Ludwig's main event, where he talked about he was going to be in the main event, and Sheamus was just an opening act. And Sheamus said, if I recall, it's 1-1.
That's right. So
and he'll break his ribs and stuff again, and it would be a hell of a...
Last man standing or something? They might have a stip for them. Nonetheless, New Day and Final Testament match was pretty solid, actually. Not bad. Odyssey Jones obviously looked like a star here. Gets the dub.
Oh, hell of a clothesline on Razor.
There was one moment where Kofi is trying to make a comeback. Ozzy's off the ropes. Xavier has his hand that's waiting. Ozzy steps up on the ring and takes the tag instead. Xavier looks confused, but Ozzy takes over the match. And
Kofi elects to tag him. Yes, he was the closer guy, and he was down.
But again,
at the moment,
there goes WWE with their camera angles.
And we could see what hell of a camera angle. What the hell was that?
That is the good shit.
He was pissed to not get in the ring.
That's something that we get to see at home every week, and that's something that I feel like the fans get to miss out sometimes when they're there. But being at home, we get to see these amazing camera angles, and it's crazy when they drive stories like this.
That camera angle really watching that on the big screen when you were there, you probably missed that.
Yeah.
Because they do show you the feed that they're showing you on TV up on the top.
Not all the time, though. We've been to the shows, you know?
You know, it's still, you blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
It's a Marvel Easter egg.
Good moment. Shout out Big O. He slid.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Woods, too, for jumping over the referee for his elbows.
That's right, dude. What a moment. Xavier literally had 2 moments in that entire match, but he made the most of it, and that's why we love Consequences Creed.
Then we had old Dom and Liv sucking faces here, just being dirty heels.
And challenging the former champion himself.
Yeah.
The bisexual Undertaker.
Huh? Love it. I love the internet, guys, just so you know.
And he says, Dom says, you real? Leave him in the back. You know what I'm saying? Leave Rhea in the back, and I'll leave Judgment Day in the back. I'll even leave Liv. Meet me in the ring like a man.
Yep, love it. And then we get down to the ring, and of course, one-on-one. Here we go. And you already knew. Great camera angle. Again, by the way, Priest is walking down. Beautiful timing. Absolutely perfect timing. Turns around. McDonough just gets blasted. Or was it Carlito first? I can't remember. Carlito first gets blasted. Then McDonough gets blasted. Finn gets blasted. And it all looks good. And the camera angles. Again, we go back to the ring, and there's Dom. Here we go. Rhea. There she is, standing right behind him, ready to freaking go. You already knew it was coming. We've seen it for 2 weeks now. That headbutt is freaking deadly, dude. She blasted Dom. Headbutt, and was looking to set it up.
Better than Drew's, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's up there with Drew. Maybe better, dude. That headbutt's crazy.
And we also had another backstage segment, this time with Braun Breaker, not just the video package.
Yep.
And he talks about how there's going to be an Intercontinental Championship tournament taking place next week on Raw. And that's fine and dandy because I like that they're doing these now that after Santos Escobar on Smackdown is going to be taking on LA Knight coming up this week and could have a chance to become the United States champion. But now we're going to get into the Intercontinental Championship tournament. But Braun Breaker says doesn't matter who it's going to be because he's going to destroy him because he's a badass and he's sorry about everyone else, but he won't be sorry for what he does to them.
It won't be his fault. Shout out Smith.
That's what it was.
Remember?
Say he's going to be he's better than
Wasn't
everyone
it?
in the
Yeah,
roster.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's not his fault he's better than everyone in the roster. It's not his fault. But it will be his fault.
Yeah, he was killing it.
When he...
And then we get to see Judgment Day
when he drives whoever in the mat, he said.
And then we get to see Judgment Day cutting the promo backstage after everything that just happened, and everything was great about the entire segment now, and they get to just kind of tell you. We beat the crap out of them too. That's what happened. We did that.
And then Liv proceeds to call Rhea a bitch.
Yep,
and
of
I think
course.
she fucked up.
Well, we'll see how that goes, but I like the new Judgment Day.
Then, as we mentioned earlier on the show, we talked about there was going to be a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship bout.
Yep.
When the champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union, took on Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane, and the worst tag team name in WWE, the Pure Fusion Collective, or the PFC as Cole called them.
Not to be mistaken with KFC.
And
Or PCB.
Shout out Pat and Zoe Stark here. And of course, we knew the Unholy Union was going to retain going into Bash at Berlin. It's only right that they go defend in the home country. Well, not the home country, but very close to the home country overseas, because if it's not in America and it's close to home, it's the home continent. Exactly. So this is a pretty solid match. I remember the one spot with Kairi Sane. She was about to do the Io actually threw her over the rope, but she kind of had a little botch. But was able to catch herself and still flip over and made it look good.
Didn't even look like she messed up at one point. I was like, did she mean to do that? I was like, no, she totally messed up, but what a save.
It's very confusing because her foot definitely hit the rope first, but she landed on her belly off the rope.
Looked so good. I don't know. It flowed.
Yeah, it did.
So they're able to, retain their championship because
huge finish.
Kairi Sane was in the Karafuda clutch by Shayna.
Yep.
And then she gets yoked up
with the backstabber.
By Isla, and then
now
Alba
double stacked
off the top while on the back
with a beautiful swanton.
And then 1, 2, 3.
Kairi eats all of it with Shayna.
Kairi's all 110 pounds, 115 with the leather on.
And then we come back from commercial after that bout, and it's none other than your boy, main event, Jey Uso. And he was talking about how Sami Zayn taking this week off because he needs to recover mentally after losing to Braun Breaker and not being able to capture his championship. But he said just because he couldn't get it done doesn't mean that Yeet can't go and win his first WWE Singles Championship. So after talking about, like we said, this Intercontinental Championship tournament, Jey Uso is now going to be involved, which means he's winning, then losing.
What?
Because Braun Breaker's got to hold that championship.
Definitely. But this is huge because for weeks now they've been pushing the Sami Zayn Jey Uso tag team story, which I ultimately think will still happen. I do think they win tag titles to play onto the bigger story, of course, which we talk about
the whole
later.
Everything. I like.
But they're not getting away from Jey Uso's singles title run either. He's playing both right now, and that is
too
very
hot
good.
Right now in the market. Too much merchandise.
This
flying
again
off the
is the Paul Levesque era, and he is doing great at keeping your superstars who belong in the main event scene in the picture and on your TV screen, whether that be tag team or singles, or in Jey Uso's case, now both, and that's great.
Yeet. Then it brings me to thank you, Pat, because Pat McAfee will be taking the rest of this year off from the WWE as he has to go to college football and make Saturdays great again with Kirk Herbstreit on ESPN.
What's that coming down the track? Featuring Sheamus this Saturday as a special guest picker
for week 0 of college football
in Ireland
when the Florida State Seminoles take on who? The Fighting Irish. But yes, definitely we will miss Pat, but we do know that Pat McAfee will be back for the very first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix.
And shout out, Pat. Thank you. We love you. We'll see you soon. And shout out, I would want to say, next week now? Do we see the debut of Mr. Joe Tessitore on the announce table
they said
next week?
Right after Bash at Berlin, correct. He was debuted for the Monday night after, I believe.
Okay.
Would that be September?
So that would be a couple weeks. So what do they do now without Pat if he leaves now? I believe that's what.
They might go solo, fuck it.
Well, Bash at Berlin isn't this weekend, right?
No, it's next because All In is
next
this weekend.
Well, then there you go. They're going to have to go a week where Graves will probably just have to come help Cole for 1 week. That's all they'll do. That's all. Nonetheless,
that brings me to my favorite time of the evening.
It's time for the main event.
Ludwig Kaiser taking on that legend killer, Randy Orton.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Very solid match. Randy Orton definitely putting this kid over. You know, the old vintage Orton. DDTs,
Dude,
backdrops on the announce table, all the shit that just gives you the fuzzies in your stomach.
I love Ludwig, man. He's such a generational talent, and people don't even see it, and it's crazy.
He just has the face to hate, man.
And then Gunther.
Dude, he does, though.
He's the human Ken doll, as Pat would say. Gunther made his presence known at ringside and
as he should.
tried to cost Randy Orton the victory here, but that was gonna be a nana. As the Viper is gonna do what? Hit the 3 most devastating words in all of professional wrestling.
Randall
Kenneth Orton.
Well, that's what it stands for.
That is what it stands for. And then Randy Orton gets attacked by Gunther as the show goes off the air with these two brawling. I absolutely love that they've been doing this, and then now it's just a time for us to keep the cameras rolling when the time is out, and we can post it on social media for everybody that, oh yeah, we're always on social media. We'll get to go follow and find it.
Randy had the upper hand at the end. Just want to say that.
He did, which means he'll lose.
Don't know how it ended, but I hope Randy gets it. I've always been hopeful that he's the one who breaks Ric Flair's record, and but John Cena is going to retire, so I don't see that happening.
Well, and now that brings me to actually our favorite segment of the show.
Yes, the one where I go.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it.
Oh my God.
You mentioned John Cena. Well, here's a hot take. There's very big rumblings that Paul Triple H Levesque is very big on at least the option of exploring John Cena going for the 17th world title. So he wants to run the story.
As you know, I'm a fan. So is this why you said you think he's going to win the Rumble?
Yes, Cena's going to win the Rumble, face Gunther. Whether he gets it done or not is up for discussion because Triple H is a Ric Flair guy.
Yep.
But he respects the ever-living hell out of John Cena and everything that he's done for this company. And Cash made a very valid point the other day. WrestleMania would be what number, Guapo?
Like 41?
When did John Cena win his first world championship?
21?
20 years to the date. Well, to the event, not necessarily to the date, because I'm not sure. I think that was actually March.
20 years to the event, yes.
That John Cena would have captured 17 world championships in 20 years.
Yep.
And it's fitting. And I fucking will die on that hill.
To cry inside.
That this man deserves to get the championship done. If you haven't seen it yet, does have a new movie out called Jackpot. 3rd consecutive rotten movie on Rotten Tomatoes. They're just a bunch of fucking haters because John Cena is great at what he's doing. He's not trying to put out anything with a great storyline per se. Not that it's bad.
Hilarious, and also
I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, I did. It is a good movie. It can also possibly make you cry depending on your levels, but. Yes, it is a great movie. John Cena has found his own lane, and he does what all these other action stars won't do. He can be funny and lose comically, and I love it.
It's awesome. Makes you want to watch it now. More than I already did.
And I'm waiting for people.
Well, because I seen a thing while we're on the Cena topic, they were shitting on Ricky Stenicki. I thought it was funny as fuck.
That was hilarious, and seeing him as a drug addict and do all those sex reboots, ones,
wild,
hilarious.
And then the Vacation Friends 2 was kind of a flop, but
yeah, the first one.
Was way better.
The first one was way better. They tried to redo the same chemistry, and that's kind of why it didn't work. And that's not necessarily a movie that needed a sequel, but it was cool.
I mean, come on, we still got cock blockers too, man. They just like
and that's another that's just the role of Cena. It's the facial expressions. That's what he did in WWE. The selling and everything else like that. So that puts him on, and
But let's not also forget he got into the Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
And if Cena wins the Rumble, that would be 2 or 3.
No, that would be 3.
He would tie.
Yes, that's why it's huge.
That's what I thought, because he would tie Stone Cold for the most all time.
Yep.
And then so it's like a win-win for him.
Yeah, he'd be tying a record and breaking a record.
And if he didn't get it done, he still ties the record.
Yeah, he'd still have 3
He ties
Rumbles
2 records.
and 16 championships, and that makes 316.
And then
Hell yeah!
And then let Randy win for the 17.
Okay, so hear me out.
And it doesn't have to be Randy and John at Mania because obviously that's not the path that we're going.
So
right
I'll give you another little thing I heard. This isn't really rumor has it because it was said, but Randy Orton was on the Cody Rhodes podcast and he revealed that.
Oh, he was drunk as hell.
Oh, he was. It was crazy. But he revealed.
What do you want to talk about?
Inebriations.
He revealed that he talked to Cena about, hey, dude, are we going to do this again? Are we going to wrestle again, essentially? John Cena said, nope. He says, it's not on me. He said, if storyline calls for it, we'll wrestle again. And he left it at that. Or it was almost like flabbergasted, but he totally understands it because that's how Cena is. He's never picked or told them what I want to do. Whatever they've given him, he said, all right, let's run it.
And that's why his movies are the same thing. He's like, all right, this script sounds good, and
I'm going to do what y'all want me to do.
If it's funny, yeah, it's fun. Like,
and I'm going to make it work.
The whole going out there, what was it, the Oscars or whatever, butt ass naked or whatever. Like,
yes, dude.
No one else is going to do that shit, and John Cena's just the guy that's just like, well, I really just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's going to entertain the people, I'll do it.
And tell you, just like that, I just don't give a fuck.
He'd say, if it entertains the people, I'll do it. That's what he says. And it's awesome.
Biggest people man we know, and that will end our rumor has it. I know it went a little longer than anticipated, but when you're talking about the greatest of all time, when you're talking about the man that nobody can see,
when you're talking
about the doctor,
match, John,
the doctor of thugonomics, when you're talking about the man that holds the golden shovel,
when you're talking about the guy that makes the people say, fuck you, Cena, and the one that makes the people say, let's go, Cena, there's a lot to say.
You gotta talk about him. Brings us to our NXT review.
Yeah.
Wes Lee slated to take on the man that I do believe in. I don't know about Guapo. I haven't heard his nuisance on this.
Oh, well.
Do you believe in Joe Hendry? And will he become the WWE NXT Championship Eliminator victor and be the number 1 contender?
Potentially become NXT champion and hold that title all the way to London and Paris and
Tokyo, America, Scotland,
and Canada, and
Mexico, saying, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Give me a take on Joe Hendry, the first time we've ever had you on here to talk about the man who is literally taking the wrestling game by storm across multiple companies,
I've fallen down the rabbit hole many a times.
Multiple storylines right
Pokemon
now.
Joe Hendry, he's done it all, dude. Like, I fell down the rabbit hole.
Yes.
I have been hearing non-stop things about this man, even on things that don't involve wrestling, on TikToks and stuff. Just people believing in Joe Hendry around the world.
He's over.
Okay?
This is crazy for Guapo to say, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but Guapo does not partake in the viewings of NXT on top of it as much as we do, so for him to say that he's seeing these things on social media...
And I'm not on TikTok like that either, so I wouldn't know.
Exactly, please continue.
So, Joe Hendry has taken the world by storm, and people don't even know what he does as a career. And I'm not going to lie, as you heard me clapping along, I think I have to believe in Joe Hendry. I also don't know if this is his first title shot, though. If this is his first one, I think he'll lose.
On NXT?
Yes. If this is his first one, I think he'll lose. If this is not his first one, I will give him the win.
Well,
We'll see.
Even though I love Pete Dunne, I love him as a wrestler. I've always loved him since the NXT UK stage, but
Pete Dunne's a heel and Ethan Page is a heel, so I just feel like that takes out Pete Dunne right now. He's not going to win and be involved in that.
and Wesley's a dog. I've seen his work. Wesley is a dog.
I would say Wesley's a heel. You can't do that with Ethan Page either, but Jesus, Wesley's on a whole level right now. You can put him in anything and it's going to work. So
Pete Dunne's going to win.
Timeout. Go ahead. I say Joe Hendry too. Go ahead.
Pete Dunne's going to win only for the simple fact that, do you want to push this Joe Hendry Wesley storyline? Because if I can get a banger out of it, and I want to bring Desmond Xavier back to TNA.
Okay, see, I believe in that, what you're saying.
That's a very good theory, and I could see Pete taking stealing this victory here.
So I say he's...
But yes, Joe Hendry absolutely 100% needs to be the right call. Whether they pull the plug, I don't know.
Is a nasty matchup.
No, yeah, that would be great. I'm not against that at all.
Crazy word.
And wins it for No Mercy?
Yes, their No Mercy event is what it is.
Also, I just want to throw this in there since you guys also...
Okay, I got another wild theory for you.
First event watching wrestling was No Mercy 2006. I remember that was where Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero had their match and they went outside the crowd. That is also where Booker T, Bobby Lashley, Finley, and I want to believe Batista were in a fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight Championship match. And then after that event, I got to touch.
Well, save that for the matches they want to talk about.
Touch Bobby Lashley, he said.
I didn't wash my hands for about 24 hours.
Oh, you were there live.
Oh yeah, No Mercy.
Yeah.
Baby.
Hell yeah.
That's one of the great event. Wow.
You could also fall down this rabbit hole, this theory that both men pin Pete Dunne.
That would be something.
Triple threat for the title.
You could. The only thing I see Wesley not winning here is because of his problems with the Rascals, obviously.
Which they could come back and cost them.
And that's going to set up them one-on-one, I believe, at No Mercy for NXT. And then I believe Wesley should go back to TNA for their Emergence pay-per-view to go against Trey Miguel. And then he would get both of them.
But isn't Emergence the next pay-per-view coming up?
Yes, so it would be literally one after.
Well, he's already in a match.
No,
Trey Miguel is actually in the X Division ladder match, which Wesley could cost him in.
Yes, he could.
Because why? You cost me a championship opportunity, I'll cost you one. And then you do it at No Mercy because it's afterwards.
Shout out TNA because the Ultimate NXT Emergence is going to slap Riley Osborne from NXT.
Much like Russell Wilson. Let me cook.
Yeah, cook, man. That was a good call there. Nonetheless, Triple Threat, obviously, is going to be the main event that night coming up on NXT. It's going to be a banger.
We got another championship eliminator gauntlet match. Well, actually a gauntlet this time, not just a regular eliminator, but we have Ren Sinclair.
Yeah, Adriana Rizzo, Sol Ruca, Jada Parker,
Kendall Gray,
Karen Petrovic, some new names in.
All new names other than Sol Ruca.
Yeah. This is a eliminator gauntlet match for a women's championship opportunity. Is it North American Championship or is it the World? Because I thought it was for the World. I'm not sure.
Oh, it should be. It's for the North American.
Is it? Huh. I'll have to do some fact checking. You know how people make these fake logos, and I swear I saw something different. So, I'm not too sure here. Probably North American, being how these women that are in this match.
Very possible, but I did pull this right from the source.
Source says. We'll take a moment. We're going to fact check because we don't like to be wrong. And I swear I saw something else. So I just wanted to make sure that we were right. So, nonetheless, Cap's going to move in and talk about it here. And he's going to give us the real facts. Either way, there's only two names that stick out in this match for me. Sol Ruca and Jada Parker. Guapo's quiet over here, but I know his face and his mind. He likes Jada Parker.
For other reasons, but yeah, I do like Jada Parker. I have seen Sol Ruca, and I also have heard for some reason about Rizzo though.
Yeah,
she's with Tony D. The Dome.
Okay, yeah, see, I've heard about her.
So when she talks, it's like this.
Well,
Orders to the Don. Yeah. She's pretty good. It's actually not bad neither.
But obviously, like you said, those two are sticking out, and I do see I see them winning. I just want to either Sol Ruca's a brute though too.
Dude, she's crazy. What do you think about her finisher, the inverted flip RKO? It's called the Soul Snatcher, by the way.
And it's called the Soul Snatcher.
It's called the Soul Snatcher.
Yes, because when I first seen it snatched my soul. So yes, that makes 100% sense. Because do your thing, 21. Do your thing.
Yeah, and I do believe I was right. This is for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yes, the other source was wrong and had the
North title posted.
Women, yes, they
I thought
did.
So that's kind of what I was waiting for.
Because Kalani's already in a feud, but I just wanted to make sure.
I was waiting for you to confirm because these names right here, right? So you know how NXT fluctuates and they go through where they push up people to the main roster, so now they've got to get these new names to get better. These are a lot of young women and new names in this match.
Which is why Sol Ruca has to
Jada
win.
Parker stuck out, like Guap and I were just saying. This would be much better for the North American Championship, don't you think? So it's crazy that they all have a shot for the world women's title.
I think that's
essentially.
why the source says had it wrong, and
Yes.
we were able to confirm with another source.
Well, I like to be right, so screw the wrong source.
So either way, if it's either championship, then we weren't wrong because source says
My sources say Soul Ruka has to win this year, definitely. It's going to be a banger low-key. She's probably going to hit about 3 Soul Snatchers.
Then it's been a while, but we're getting a Hank and Tank sighting.
Bro, I love me some Hank and Tank. I wish they would get better in the ring and be on TV a lot quicker.
Well, which is why the OC is down there, and that's their opponents.
And I think the OC is there to put them over.
Yeah.
The OC...
They've done a little of both, low-key. They've won a few where I've been like, they should have put these people over. And then they won one, or then they lost ones, and I'm like, okay, they did the right thing.
I think right now, Triple H is just like, all right, we'll keep you down here in NXT because they already live in Orlando.
Yeah.
Because they used to work for TNA and everything else.
A
So
lot of superstars are living in
the whole reason that they live in Orlando. So now they don't have to travel as much because they are getting older. They have nothing for AJ right now because if you remember, AJ was actually supposed to come back Friday night Smackdown after SummerSlam.
For him. It wasn't time.
Well, you can't bring AJ Styles back on the SummerSlam after, the OTC returned and was slated to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, what is he going to do?
So that's gonna be overshadowed here for a little minute.
I agree.
But you have nothing to do for the OC, and the OC at this point they're just like, hey, we're here. We're basically training in the Performance Center every day. Paul gave us a fat contract to literally be trainers, essentially, and living trainers down here, and we still perform, and we're still gonna do our thing because, like you said, they're still picking up some dubs. I don't expect them to put them over, but I wouldn't be surprised because Hank and Tank are kind of still green, and that's why I feel that the OC should still go over here. But you just never know. And then, I don't know about you guys, but so I'm feeling like Nelly in here. It's getting hot. Lola Vice taking on Wendy Chu.
Guapo, are you familiar with Lola Vice?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Well, we will put you on Lola Vice after the show.
No, I'm actually going to do it right now, just for the fans, because I want to give them a live reaction as I pull up Lola Vice on a phone for him to look at. I just want Eddie.
Do you know who Wendy Chu is? She's got the sleeping gimmick.
She has a darker side now, so she's heel, so it's kind of creepy. We don't know much about it yet, but...
Which, hey, man, shout out Wendy Chu. I was mad she was off TV for so long because she was a great character, but I guess they had nothing better for her.
Wendy's swole.
So this is Lola Vice. Guapo said, whoa. Now
Well, if you're unfamiliar, she's known to dance on the scene.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah. So Lola Vice
Here, he found an ass photo.
gonna Wendy Chu.
She emotes in the ring.
You guys are.
She does. That's what she does. She literally wins her matches and emotes in the ring.
What the
Fortnite, exactly.
So
She used to do MMA?
Yes.
yeah, she did. So she does have an MMA background. Yes. She emotes in the ring.
And I think she was a cheerleader for the Heat,
She
correct?
was cheerleader for the Heat, I do believe. Miami. That's where the Lola Vice comes from. She wears the Vice colors, you see.
She's Cuban.
Cuban. So she was coming in as a face. They turned her heel. She won the breakout tournament. Didn't win her title match.
She won the match. She won the match.
You hear the man.
She won the match.
Tell him.
Lola Vice won the match.
I got followed.
Then we have and then this is a very surprising match, but we're going to get in a Shanti the Adonis sighting.
Are we?
Which, if you remember, him and Cedric Alexander are now a team, and they're on NXT, which, hey, this is great for them, man, because with NXT moving to the CW, Guapo kind of was like, hey, I don't really watch NXT anymore because I don't feel it's the same. I feel like they're getting more too mainstream of a brand. I said, well, you're kind of tripping a little bit. You need to start watching a little bit of NXT here.
I agree.
Because,
Watch it.
honestly,
But
it's no shab at any main roster, but
What are you going to say?
NXT sometimes has better product.
I feel like CW was going to be maybe another edgier feel again? Because CW puts out those types of shows on there now.
Yeah, so think about CW, all those shows, like even Riverdale, it was showing like a little bit of, like more provocative stuff, like just in general.
That's
so
what I mean, I guess, more provocative stuff. I mean,
so with that network, yes, and they do have NWA on there now, the CW.
Interesting.
They have NWA Power.
That's right, they do. Interesting.
So maybe NWA, TNA, and WWE worlds collide.
Nonetheless, NXT is gonna slap. You know me. I'm a huge NXT.
And Ashadi's taking on Dion Lennox.
Yeah.
He's actually an up and comer. I don't know if I mentioned him, but
the goggles, the clear goggles.
Maybe.
Like it's like a visor kind of.
Is he in a tag team or no?
no, Dion Lennox. I believe he is in the tag team with.
Like the gray trunks.
Man, I'm sorry. I apologize. I cannot remember. I cannot remember their name because I honestly haven't watched NXT in about 2 weeks. But
Tyson. I'm right.
But
there.
I'm familiar with the product.
Yeah.
And I catch up.
I'm right.
I haven't fully
It's not
fledged
them
watched
either.
it.
I know what you're thinking. It's not them either. Nonetheless, guys, NXT, we love it. Every week, I think it's great.
Oh, they're not goggles, they're glasses. Yeah.
And look at this. And here goes Guap. He comes in for one episode, right? Debut. He's over here on the phone doing the old scrolls and searches and getting these facts right. He's 100% right. He honestly looks like, I'm about to kill you guys. He almost looks like a light-skinned version of Ronnie. You guys ever watch Power?
I am deceased. Go to sleep. Go to bed. He looks like Jason Jordan.
That's our wrestling roundup, guys. You love us here at TLC. Come on now. And I think that just about does it, though, doesn't it?
I believe so. Join it. Thank you for joining us here for.
Hey guys, I just want to, since you guys normally have segments here and there's a missing member, I just wanted to go ahead and give a little segment for.
Are you gonna leave us with something?
I just want to leave something for the fans to ponder, try to figure out yourself first. Please, before you look this up, these two questions I want to ask you, please. Just think about it yourself and try to come up with an answer yourself. Send us a message. Come on. Anything.
Okay.
First question. Who gave Shinsuke Nakamura his first main roster loss?
Nice.
Let that ponder for you guys. And then second. How many WWE championship reigns does Andre the Giant have?
Okay. Nice.
Bonus if you can guess his the amount of days.
Okay. Eddie El Guapo, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed him here today. That's great. I will go ahead and do the labor and leave us with something. I'll give us a match to watch, and I'll go ahead and tail what Guapo said. He said Nakamura. Well, let's just take it back to Smackdown. When Nakamura went one-on-one with the GOAT,
John Cena. Drops him on his head.
Drops him on his freaking neck. It looked like Cena should have had a broken neck again, and he didn't, and it was crazy, and the match was banger. You guys go watch it.
I watched that with you guys. That's insane. I watched that match with you guys.
And
That
this
was,
is our brains,
that was
and that's how we
2016. That probably would have been at the old Hillcrest.
live. Yep. The good old days, the glory days. Well, boys.
Well, speaking of, did you get a chance to watch the promo that I left for the audience on our last meetup?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh boy, I'll have to put you on. Because the megastar, LA Knight, known as Eli Drake. What'd he do? He won that global championship back when it was the global the global championship. Jeff Jarrett.
Global Force Wrestling.
And what did he do? He walked out there. He seen a nice old lady in a cheetah print bikini.
Huh?
Yes, sir. I'll just let you go listen because nobody can do it like the megastar.
Do you think we'll get copyrighted if we played it through the sound for you guys to hear right now before we end the show?
We'll play it one time for the one time. If we
We're
get
gonna
the
do it.
strike, then guess what? Yeah.
Yep. We're going to do it for you guys just because this is a beautiful occasion.
And because Guapo has not seen it.
Yeah? So you guys give me a minute to get right to it here.
Because earlier today,
Here we go.
I spent my sunny afternoon sitting by the pool. And unbeknownst to me, because I'm on the hunt even when I'm being hunted, but unbeknownst to me, she's got me in her sights. And she makes her way over, and how appropriate, because she's wearing this leopard print bikini.
Leopard, sorry, not cheetah.
She's a cougar, and she's looking for a cubby.
Yeah. What's he doing?
Yeah. Shut up, dummies, I'm talking.
She bring back dummies. Yeah.
She wanted to give me some of that mother's milk. I said, hold on, mama, I only drink from the jug. She said, I got 2 big jugs right here. I said, I didn't mean that. I meant the plastic one. She said, these are plastic.
Woo!
I said, hey now.
Oh! Cook it.
Cooking, folks. Cooking.
Needless to say, my thirst was quenched, and I didn't get much rest today.
And that is the legend Eli Drake, otherwise known as Max Dupree. And now we love and know him as L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Or you could just call him Sean. Yeah.
Yeah. Folks, thank you guys. We appreciate all you guys listening. This has been another tremendous occasion. Eddie El Guapo, are you going to come back again? Because we want you to come back. Oh, did I say that? Shit.
I'm the biggest fan anyway, so yeah, I'm always down.
That's what we like to hear.
He's always down, and we might have another guest to cross off here coming up in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
You never know, just stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because X gonna give it to you.
Hey, might have to bring in a papa. You never know. But hey, we love you guys. Thank you. You know what to do. Hit that button. Top corner, bottom corner. Like, subscribe, comment, answer Guapo's questions. Go watch my match. This has been another episode of
Talking Like Champions.
We'll see you guys again. We out here. Yeet.
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 See ya.